Begin the program in a while, and when the program is on, I want you to kindly listen to the speaker and not look into your mobiles, and please put your mobiles in silent mode. The program will begin. I want you to maintain silent. The guests are here, and when they come, kindly stand up, okay? Good morning and a warm welcome to Day 2 of the International Maritime Conference 2025. As we reconvene for the second day of the International Maritime Seminar, our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity, our focus sharpens on collaboration and action. Today, we bridge yesterday's visionary ideas with tangible strategies, exploring sustainable practices, regulatory innovation, and global partnerships that will steer the maritime industry toward a more efficient, secure, and forward-looking future. Together, let's transform ideas into impact as we embark on today's session.
I kindly request everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer in full memory of our beloved founder chairman, late Sri P.K. Das, followed by a universal prayer song.
നന്മയാകുന്ന കാന്തി കാണുവാൻ കണ്ണിനാകേണമേ നല്ല വാക്കിൻ്റെ ശീലു ചൊല്ലുവാൻ നാവിനാകേണമേ സ്നേഹമാകുന്ന ഗീതമോ എൻ്റെ കാതിനിണയാകണേ സത്യമെന്നുള്ള ശീലമോടെ ഞാൻ ശാന്തി അറിയണമേ ഭൂമിയമ്മയെന്നറിയുവാനുള്ള ബോധമുണ്ടാകണേ ജീവജാലങ്ങളാകെയും ജന്മബന്ധുവായിടണേ ജാതിഭേദങ്ങളിന്ന ശാപമോ ദൂരെ മറയണമേ ലോകമൊന്നെന്ന പാഠമെന്നുമിൻ മനസ്സിലെഴുതേണമേ
To ceremonially commence our proceedings, we now invite our esteemed dignitaries to please join us for the traditional lamp lighting.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठेत् गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं
Thank you. I respectfully invite Professor Dr. Subhash G. Platotam, Professor of Nehru Academy of Law, to deliver the welcome address and formally share the vision and concept of this conference.
A very good morning to all. Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Today, as we gather to deliberate on the future of our trade, environment and economic growth, it is both timely and essential to draw our attention to one of the greatest natural endowments of our nation, the ocean. India, with its vast coastal line stretching over 11,000 kilometers, repositories of untapped wealth. From fisheries to shipping, to renewable energy and marine biotechnology, the ocean-based economy, or what we call today the blue economy, holds the key to a more sustainable and prosperous future. In this regard, Kerala's eco-sensitive shore deserves particular mention. Blessed with a unique geographical position, Kerala's coastline is not only the rich biodiversity but also strategically poised to serve as a hub of marine commerce, coastal tourism, and sustainable fisheries. With careful planning and responsible management, these shores can drive inclusive growth while also preserving the delicate marine ecosystems that sustains countless lives. The blue economy thus offers us an opportunity to rethink development, one that balances trade and economic gains with ecological stewardship. By harnessing the ocean responsibly, India can strengthen its role in global commerce, empower coastal communities, and contribute to the global effort of building a sustainable future. The blue economy extends beyond fisheries and shipping. It encompasses renewable energy from tides and waves, marine biotechnology, ecotourism, and sustainable coastal development. Kerala, with its unique biodiversity, backwaters, and rich marine ecosystem, is ideally placed to be the forefront of this transformation. However, this potential must be realized with utmost care, keeping in mind the fragility of marine ecosystem and the livelihood of millions who depends on them. At the same time, by aligning economic activity with ecological balance, we can ensure that our growth does not come at the cost of the environment. Let this conference be a platform where ideas converge, strategies evolve, so that the immense potential of our oceans may be realized in a way that ensures both prosperity and preservation. Therefore, as we embark on our discussion in this conference, let us view the ocean not just as a resource to be exploited, but as a partner in our shared journey towards prosperity and sustainability. Let me now turn to my most delightful part of my responsibility, welcoming the esteemed guest whose presence makes this occasion truly meaningful. First, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Chairman and Managing Trustee, Chancellor, Pikedas Deemed University, and the Honorary Trade Commissioner, Mauritius, India, Advocate Dr. P. Krishnadas, who has graciously agreed to preside over this function. We are delighted to have you with us today. I welcome you, sir. I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed chief guest, a pioneering entrepreneur and a business leader whose presence adds great value to this occasion. Sri N.M. Panikkar, founder and managing director, Expert United Marine Service Group of Companies, UAE, and Honorary Trade Commissioner, Brunei Darussalam India Commonwealth Trade Council. Sir, we are deeply honored by your presence. I welcome you, sir. With great pleasure, I welcome today's guest of honor, Sri Jitendra Kinachinkara, former head of corporate affairs, Adani Vizhinjam Port Private Limited, and special officer, Adani Organizations, Kerala, whose vision and expertise set remarkable standards in the Vizhinjam Port project. We welcome you, sir. So it is our privilege to extend a warm welcome and respectful welcome to Dr. P. Krishnakumar, Pro Vice Chancellor, Pikedas Deemed University, CEO and Secretary, Nehru Group of Institutions, whose leadership in academics continues to inspire us and guide us. I welcome him in his absence. So I welcome Dr. Rabia Rabat Tesmani, postdoctoral researcher, Department of European and Public International Law, University of Jaén, Spain, who is joining with us online. I welcome you, madam. I welcome Dr. Binumol K, Director, School of Legal Studies, Cochin University of Science and Technology. She is expected to join us with us in the afternoon. So I welcome Commandant Asha Dahiya, Law Officer, Indian Coast Guard, New Delhi. I welcome Lieutenant Commander Kofi Amposha Dudu from Ghana Navy. I welcome Dr. Arnajilam Kasi, a practicing barrister, London and Wales, international lawyer and arbitrator from Malaysia, who is also joining us online. I welcome Commander Anup Patman, Maritime Welfare Center from Cochin. I welcome Dr. R. Gauri, Director Research and Accreditation, Nehru Group of Institutions. I welcome Dr. P.D. Sebastian, Director, Nehru Academy of Law. I welcome Dr. Soni Vijayan, Principal, Nehru Academy of Law. I welcome principals and directors of our sister institutions. I welcome all of you who have gathered here and are participating as paper presenters. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. It's my distinct honor to extend an invitation to our esteemed Chairman and Managing Trustee, Advocate Dr. P. Krishnadas, the Honorary Trade Commissioner Mauritius to India and Chancellor of P.K. Das, Dean to the University, to grace us with his insightful presidential address.
Thank you. Good morning to all. Most respected, beloved Chief Guest, Sri N.M. Panikar, Trade Commissioner, Brunei Darussalam, Indian Commonwealth Trade Council, and the founder and managing director, Expert United Marine Services Group of Companies UAE. Most respected Sri Jitendra Kanitinkara, Senior Head of Corporate Affairs, Adani Vidinyam Port Private Limited, Special Officer, Adani Organizations Kerala. Respected Dr. Subhash C. Plandotam, who delivered the welcome address. Respected Commandant Asha Dahiya, Law Officer, DT of Law, Indian Coast Guard, New Delhi. Respected Lieutenant Commander Kofi Ambonasa Dudu, Ghana Navy. Respected Principal of Nehru Academy of Law, Professor Dr. Soni Vijayan. Respected Director, Nehru Academy of Law, Dr. Sebastian. All other distinguished principals and heads of various institutions, distinguished guests on and off the dais, and most beloved delegates and participants across the nation, and also students of Nehru Academy of Law, and all well-wishers, those who are present here. Once again, good morning to all. This is only a formality to stand before you, to just have the presidential address with respect to the second day Maritime International Conference happening in this college. According to my knowledge, yesterday's all the sessions went well, in depth, and you people are just mesmerized by the new information what you received with respect to the maritime laws and operations and other policies, not only in India but across the universe. Now, today you will be witnessing many more sessions, and tomorrow also you will be witnessing many more sessions. I'm privileged and happy to be the part of this great international conference, which will be reflecting and which will be creating new formulas and policies and guidelines, which will give light to the latest policy makers of our country and other countries through these proceedings and the procedures those who are coming out after this conference. My dear friends, both the stalwarts are sitting on the dais. They are going to give their personal experience, and especially with the marine industry and the policies and the regulations and how hard it is to formulate certain things when it comes to the industry aspects. Especially Muralidhara Panikkar sir is a veteran in this field. He is having his own ship manufacturing naval architect industry situated in Middle East, where a lot of ships are manufactured, and also an institution wherein he is doing a lot of training to the engineering and other people, those who are having interest in this field. So we are now today touching upon various ports, especially Vidinyam or Mudra ports, or Tuticorin ports, all other ports across the nation, also across the globe. And what the actual problem lies in. Already in the welcome address, Professor Plandotam has explained or notified certain things with respect to the under-ocean activities wherein transportation lines and the cable communications and many other things, the fishing problem and the geographical boundary issues and how these international sea waters are treated, and many UNO and also various other organizations, international conventions, and made many laws which will be applicable to all the field. And yesterday also and today also we are going to discuss this. So you see, the ocean, which is totally a boundaryless, is a no man water. Anybody can enter. So how to define and how to control it, such kind of things are going to be discussed. And with respect to the industry, Panikkar sir will be detailing with respect to the policy, formulations, guidelines, and the strict norms which is already in the industry, how to develop a ship manufacturing, how to create a ship, and what all laws involved, everything will be explained. Moreover, when it comes to the Chief Guest of Honor Jitendra Kanittingara, he will explain how Adani port came into existence. They are having around 13 ports internationally and nationally, and they are the big players in that field. How the Adani is shaping up the marine industry, how the Adani is shaping up the logistics, and how the Adani is taking up the entire water of the entire world. And we know that many canals and channels and the water sources are totally operated in such a way. And we know that already discussed 90% of the logistics are operated through this water only. And what we are actually having the privilege and pleasure to live in a country where we are having the master, that is majority of the opportunities with respect to the maritime. And our coastal guards and navy and even the defense forces all are unified in such a way with various laws and territorial laws and other things. Everything will be discussed. I think this yesterday, today and tomorrow is going to be a great insight, and it will be informative session for all of you. You can become the best masters not only with the maritime but also with the international laws, and you will become the stalwarts of this field. That's my vision. I think that will happen with today and tomorrow. My dear friends, take it as granted and enjoy the session and try to create an interactive mood in the session, and that will give you more and more insight when the process goes on. And I thank the congratulators for organizing such a mega event. According to my knowledge, many publications are coming up, participations, articles are coming up, it's around more than 150. And according to my knowledge, the statistics says that more than 1,000 people are listening to this maritime conference, that is international conference. That means how much importance that this conference is having. So it's a big step from the Nehru Academy of Law. This is only a beginning. We will continue with the saga. We will see that the entire institutions in our country will transform, and they will be the part of this type of initiation, and that will create a history in our country, and we can forecast and we can give some ideas and policies which will help the entire navigation, especially in the naval base and the maritime coastal regions and everywhere. With this note, once again congratulate the organizers and also Nehru Academy of Law and the teachers those who are present here. Let us listen to the great wizards, where they are going to give the lifetime experience and the real-time experience. That will be a great, wonderful learning for us. Thank you. Have a great day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for the exceptional speech. It is our immense privilege to introduce our distinguished chief guest, Shri N.M. Panikkar, founder and managing director of the Expert United Marine Service Group of Companies in the UAE, and the Honorary Trade Commissioner for Brunei Darussalam to the India Commonwealth Trade Council. Sri Panikar's journey from his early life in Kerala to becoming a renowned global entrepreneur and trade diplomat stands as a powerful testament to vision, perseverance, and transformative leadership. Under his guidance, Expert United Marine Services has set new benchmarks in shipbuilding and comprehensive marine solutions. His influence extends across the maritime sector with Al Suhail Ship Maintenance Services and even into the cultural arena with Stage UAE, a platform dedicated to nurturing artistic talent. We are truly inspired by his accomplishments and honored to have him with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let us together extend a very warm welcome to Sri N.M. Panikar and kindly invite him to share his wisdom. So please.
Very young generation. Good morning to all. The dais, Mr. Krishnadas is the chairman, and Mr. Jitendra, Dr. Jitendra, and Commander Kasha, then Lieutenant Commander Kobi, all other distinguished, adorable guests, and more than that, our young, when I came over here, I was walking, I have seen the future of India, young, talented, young generated, under 25. They all are sitting here. It's a mass. Ladies and gentlemen, today, actually, when our chairman, we are the friends for a long time for different field. That way, we came to know that who is Krishnadas, who is Panikar, who is others. When he invited me for this marine conclave, that particularly for the maritime, and it was my pleasure because ocean is my pulse. I went very deep into the ocean and the ocean transportation, ocean life, how it is connected with the human life and other creatures in the world. That's what I very deeply involved in the ocean subject. Now today, our ocean, which is one of your motto, ocean is our pulse, ocean is our oxygen, ocean is our food, ocean is everything controlling the climate where we can live. There, whatever the coming in my mind, I will speak here. I am Panikar. I hail from Kollam and reached ultimately for the life to UAE, 1978. I think most of these sitting students, maybe they did not born that. Correct? When I went over there, I have seen it is a desert. From the desert, with the young power, they have only money with them in their hand. The UAE government has only money in their hand. There, they have no wisdom, they have no manpower. They have no other facilities. Still, they hire the manpower with money, they hire the brain from the money, they build the country. They build the country how it is now. Nearly 227 countries are living, 227 cultures, they are living together peacefully in all aspects. So this is a model. This all the thing happened, all the transport has gone, all the material, manpower, most of them is 80% has gone through the ocean to that country. Remember, the world life for the human beings are based on the marine transportation. 80% of the trade in the world is happening through only the ocean. This is the first thing we should remember that. 80% of the trades passing through the ocean. Without the ocean transport, none of the countries in the world can sustain. They cannot live because the bulk quantity of the material to move for their daily life. And every country is producing not everything, they are producing few part. And other countries are producing other part. So it should go, the transportation has to go. So the ocean, there must be, this is the high time to have an ocean diplomacy. Look at that Suez Canal was blocked for 13 days. The people are saying it is a fabricated one, whatever it is. Ultimately, the 13% of the Middle East trade passing through the Suez Canal. That Suez Canal has blocked because of an accident. But the impact, economic impact is yet to be covered. Look at the importance of the ocean. The economic impact is yet to be covered. The container charges, transporting the container charges have gone 6 times because of the Suez Canal accident. Now the other big, so much of disturbance in the Red Sea is struggling, damaging the civilized society. Last 2 months before, the European Parliament and the European countries and the Commonwealth countries are formed one United Diplomatic Council. It launched in Brussels. My subject is ocean diplomacy. What I said to them, all ambassadors are there, European ambassadors and the Commonwealth ambassadors. Since I was the main speaker there, what I request to them, I said, look, the world now, geopolitics is taking away, which is unbelievable. The countries are fighting each other. Regardless, you fight it, no problem, no issues. But the country's geopolitics, any rival or any war, it should not connect it with the ocean. Don't touch the ocean. Don't disturb the ocean. Because if you disturb the ocean, that means you are damaging the civilized society. You are damaging the humanity. You are damaging the countries, which is not at all involved in the war. So leave the ocean free. This is one point there. But the United Nations, I don't think so they can do it well now because they are biased. They are listening to someone else. And they don't bother about the other civilization, how they're damaging or how they're suffering because of this. Maybe I said India can lead a role to find a new regulatory authority to control the ocean. When I said that, the European ambassadors are looking at who is the Indian speaking this one. But it is mandatory now. It should be. Nobody should damage the ocean. If they are damaging, any country is damaging the ocean or disturbing the ocean, that means they are damaging the civilized society of the humanity on the earth. So we should have a regulatory body. In the future, dear students, your young students, keep in the mind, we should focus on this way now. As far as the education system comes, look at that. India is the only country has more than 11,000 kilometer coastal area, waterfront. No other country in the world has, no other single country in the world has more than 11,000 kilometer coastal area. Think about the new generation people. We are utilizing it properly? We are not. We are not. As far as the Vizhinjam, Doctor, Vizhinjam port, actually the Vizhinjam port idea and the seed has came from Sir C.P. Ramaswamy in 1945. It was his plan. Look now, nearly 75 years it took to realize it. In the meantime, the Then the government, Ummajandi, he was take a bold decision that this is required for the Kerala, we will do it. Babu was on ministry of that. There start agitation. Democracy, democracy can do anything, whatever they want to speak. Regardless whether it is affected to the human beings or affected to the society, affected to the, as far as they are concerned, they do that. Finally, when it was about to implement, the central government decided to do it. There was one member of parliament was totally opposing in that project. Luckily, he visited in UAE. He came to my home because it is summer. He came to my home, have a lunch. Later we sit down and talk. I said, sir, please, for the people's sake, for the God's sake, for the nature's sake, don't oppose this project now, because it will last more than 60 years, 70 years. It was in the pipeline. It never allowed to come out. I told them. He said, why? I said, please look at that. This is a natural port. We are now building as a transit. Correct, sir? We are doing as a transit. But I don't think so. There is enough area to develop the port. I mean, real port for the. Anyway, that's a different issue. Then I told them, you just. Has to be transported by say 2,500 trailer. There is enough infrastructure for 2,500 trailer to pass through Trivandrum? It's a question mark. If the 2,500 container coming there, each trailer has 3 people in it. That means 1 week, 2,500 into 3. That much of people is coming there. They need shelter, they need food, they need everything. It is there, that is still developing. Actually, these are the politicians have to do. Still, in India, we have to develop a lot. We have to go for a lot. The new gen people, new gen students, think it in the positive word. Don't think it now, think of tomorrow. Look at the horizon, same like you are driving a car. When you are driving a car, you are not looking at the front of the wheel. You are looking at far, correct? Similarly, you have to look at horizon. What should be tomorrow? Education. When the education comes, we have to have a quality education. Effective knowledge. And knowledge has to be effectively implemented. That is called our intention. Your intention, nobody can build the intention within you. You have to build up yourself. Say what you are studying, you should know that you are studying this. You study that. Particularly what I experienced, the engineers are coming out from our part of yeah, I mean from India, they are not up to the mark. At least they can do something on their profession, their career. That is, the education system is going such a way that they only go through the theory. That's what I understood. That is what I experienced. I am taking a lot of engineers from here, and at least 1 year I am training them with my money. I mean, the company's expenses, to do something with by hand. After that, they are coming on the production. But it should change. It should change. It's all. In the same way, when we go for shipyards and ocean, what is the IMO for the environment, even in 1980s, when I started the ship repairing, the IMO rules are there, but it was not strictly implemented. Later, the pollution rate has gone up. That time there was not at all mandatory for the STP and the oily water separator. These are for the STP and the oily water separator. These all the thing, it was there, but it was not implemented. They start damaging the ocean. Then they start first IMO 1, Tier 1. Then they start Tier 2. Now it is the time for the Tier 3. IMO Tier 3 is now start implementing first in the Europe. Now it is coming to the Asian side. It gives you the ocean environment perfectly pure. And STP is a mandatory, because if you damage the ocean, we are damaging everybody, the health of the human beings. We should protect them. Ladies and gentlemen, I am repeating that when I see the young generation people are here, you are the wealth of the country. Look at that, the previous last century, any country, the powerful, their superpower was their arm and their money. But this century is different. This century is how many young population, youth populations in the country, they are the wealth, they are superpowers. In India has nearly 800 million under 30 people are there. Use it now. The government has to use it. They have to utilize this. The more than 11,000 coastal area to develop, all the world will come to the Indian doorstep. All the world will come to the Indian doorstep because we have Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean as well as Bay of Bengal. Arabian Sea is the main shipping way. As you know, coastal. Arabian Sea, when we pass the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean, this is the real international shipping way. I will give you an example, and a simple incident of mine. I don't know, I am talking about something, the reference which I had experienced. During the time of the Volgati Palace in Cochin, our honorary Yusuf Ali sir has got the 27.5 acre area there for the business. There I asked them, because Vallarpadam is done. When the Vallarpadam came to effective, I understood, because we are doing a very special service to the ship, for the big ships, I mean in the tanker vessels and the container vessel, all. This is an international waterway. I said, give me a 400-meter waterfront in the port where I can bring the vessel in the long side, because the vessels, when the container and the tanker has go, there is a very specialized service is required for the sailing out, which we are doing that. Without that, they cannot go. Then they will stop their vessels and they will find some technician to come somewhere to do that. I asked the port authority, give me a 400-meter area. I will start my service, special service, and giving to the vessels, that is gaining the money, revenue of the country. Not only that, it will come in the international maritime calendar or the maritime, in the maritime area, Cochin will be notified. Now what is happening? They did not give me. First of all, they say it's a wonderful idea, fine, come on, we will do. I went many times to the Port Authority. When they come to know that because I am not connected with the politicians. I said we have a very special and professional service to be given. We can offer to the vessel which is needy people. Now what they are doing, they are encouraging the vessel. They are calling somebody from the Colombo port or the Singapore port. That's what is happening now. I told them I will do that because I am doing because I am an Indian. Indian government did not understand me and my capacity, or by the people like me, millions of the people like me. But now we are giving this service to them. They are benefiting, and we too. Why can't we do it in our country? Finally, I closed the file. I said, okay, this much hurdles to get the place, then what will be the problem when I start the company? Oh, I didn't do that. This is the small expense. This to be changed. Who can change it? You, young generation. You can change it. Demand it. We want this. Then only, when you demand it very strong, then the lawmakers will raise. They say, okay, there is something they are asking. We have to do something. Otherwise, there will be they cannot stand alone. So this is a small example which I say. In our country, we have a very great country, and India is a great country now. We are coming up such a way in the last 10 years. I can see, because we are seeing it. We are seeing it, what is happening to India. We have a lot of opportunity. Look at all the ports there, Cochin shipyards, Govan, Musgondok, Vaishak. This all is government has taken. They are making only for the government submarine and for the defense purpose, Navy purpose. But where is the practical? Here more than 3,800 vessels are roaming around, small scale vessels and the tugboats, service boats are roaming around in the area. Where is the service center? There is no service centers. Our people, also the education, what I am saying that after we get that independence in the world itself and in India particularly, the education system is oriented only for the land life. Only for the land life. They all comfortably forgot the ocean. There is 1.3 billion people are always living in the ocean. We are counting it. 1.3 to 1.4 billion people are always living with the maritime industry. But there is qualified people are there to work on it. I was telling to the Lok Sabha, Kerala Lok Sabha last year, I was telling to the Honorable Chief Minister, look, you start the education now, I will support you to give the diploma level of the young students who are coming out from IT and the diploma. We will give for the maritime course for various subjects so that they can give a quality service to the shipyards. Acute shortage. This manpower is acute shortage. My children, don't look at the white collar job. White collar job is mandatory also. I am not saying that it's bad. But go for the growth of the country, growth of the community, growth of the civilization. Go for kindly, the blue collar to do workforce, real workforce we need to work in the maritime industry. There is not. Before I used to go to Philippines to recruit the people because that time the Philippines, there are, the American base was there, mostly the Philippine people was surviving because of the American base done that industry. Once the Mindanao, that volcano erupted, it was covered by the ash, they left it. Now there is no seafarer people. If you go for, we don't get any people there because they all are turning all call center and this and that by call. We have India, we have more than 800 million people. Turn around to the marine education. You will have your life. Your mind will be occupied in constructive way ideal mind is a devil house. If you have an ideal time, then you will think a lot, and it can be positive, it can be negative. But if you are constructively working for the country and for you, marine industry has a lot of opportunity to go. Lot of opportunity. I don't take you much time. Thank you very much. I have more to speak, but our honorable guests are there. I have more and more to give you more and more advice, because I came through very, very difficult life. I came out, I didn't know what to do next when I left India to the UAE. It's a total desert. What to do for survival? You do anything. But there was, that time, if anybody reaching to anywhere, or in the Middle East, nobody asks what you are. They will only look at that. Are you young? You have power, you have your body power, you can work, then they take. Then they train whatever they want. But don't go now like this. Because I have seen the people who are coming from Kerala and India to the UAE, when they are coming to asking a job, I said, what do you are? No, sir, give me any job. Arey Baba, what do you are? I don't know. You can put me anywhere you want. This is what is the answer. But don't go for that. Whenever you go for an opportunity or for the interview, you have to say, I am this. When you start working, you say, I am worth of this. The wage which you are giving is not enough as I contribute you. Then you ask them, I am worth of this, I want this, or I am moving. This kind of personality, this kind of stamina, this kind of courage you have to build yourself. For that, quality education is the only thing, and the intention. Thank you very much for giving me, calling me for this opportunity, and giving you the space.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking and visionary insights.
It is our pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Sri Jitendran Kinitinkara, a seasoned management professional with over 4 decades of cross-functional expertise. Sri Jitendran served as the head of corporate affairs and the de facto supply chain head for the landmark Vizhinjam Deepwater Port project with the Adani Group. His strategic interventions were pivotal to the project's success, famously marked by the welcoming of the first ship carrying giant cranes in October 2023. It's an honor to invite Sri Jitendra Kinitinkara, former Head of Corporate Affairs, Adani Vizhinjam Port Private Limited, and Special Officer, Adani Organizations, Kerala, to address this gathering.
Respected Chairman of the Nehru Group of Institutions, respected Chief Guest, distinguished guests on and off the dais, and distinguished members of the faculty of the Nehru Group of Institutions, and all you young friends there. A very good morning to all. After the rousing speeches made by the speakers who spoke previously to me, I was slightly overwhelmed, and I really do not know what to say. But anyway, I will just read out certain points which I had noted down, which is like this. It is an honor and privilege and gives me great pleasure to be addressing you today at this function organized by the Nehru Academy of Law. Ottapalam is my hometown. Both my late parents hail from here, and I spent my formative years also here. But there was nothing like this, there were no gatherings like this, and there were no centers of excellence which had been established at that point in time. It is all a later addition. The NGI is doing a great service and laudable service to the nation as a center of excellence in academics and skilling and training of the youth, that is the future of our nation, in diverse disciplines, which is of great importance. And it is only fitting that this organization is centered here in Ottapalam, because many great people have come from Ottapalam over the past, and I am sure that many more from amongst you will pass through the hallowed portals of this organization to be of great service to the nation. Now, as has been introduced to me introduced by very glowing terms, I was a senior member of the concessionaire of the Vizhinjam Port, which is the Adani Ports and SEZ Limited, which then set up a special purpose vehicle for the port construction and operation known as the Adani Vizhinjam Private Port Limited. The port project ran from 2015. It was supposed to be completed in 2019, but instead of 2019, it took us up to 2024 to complete and commission it, which was done by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, on May 2nd to 2024. The results have been most encouraging after that, and there have been so many ships which have berthed there, and transshipment cargo is going on there. And this is the largest infrastructure project in the state of Kerala, and it is also the first project in the port sector under the PPP, public partnership, private partnership mode, which gives the framework of how these great big ticket development projects have to be done, because the government has to frame a system for the funding and participation of this and operation of these infrastructure projects. In the airports, the Cochin International Airport Limited was done in a same mode, but in the port sector, this was the first port which was done. So now, all Vizhinjam Port was a part of the government's vision, which has identified maritime development as a key component of the vision to make India a USD 30 trillion economy by 2047, according to the Government of India think tank Niti Ayog's vision of Vikasit Bharat at 2047. Why I am narrating all this is that it is very important to have a vision, and it is important for all of us to know what is the destination and how to go about it, overcoming all the challenges. All this has to be done, it cannot be jobless development, it has to be done with job creation. Now, we were talking about Vizhinjam Port and how long it took to complete the Vizhinjam Port. Of course, there were senior members in the team which took up the task of completing the project, which at one time seemed, with insurmountable challenges. So, we had a team, and I am glad to tell you that the team consisted of young people like you who finally deserve most of the credit for implementing the Vizhinjam project. They worked hard, their energy, their skills, their enthusiasm, everything played a part in the completion of the project. Now, the ambitious government programs, including the Maritime India Vision 2030 Sagarmala program, of which a part of it was Vizhinjam, then the Sagarmala 2, which takes some advanced development of this into consideration, then the Bharat Global Ports Consortium, and the Maritime Development Fund. India's maritime policy in 2025 is aimed at transforming the nation into a leading global maritime power. One of the key components was the development of the Vizhinjam Greenfield Port in southern India, and I have narrated to you about that. It also requires now all this kind of development of the Vikasit Bharat 2047 and the Maritime India Vision requires a great deal of monitoring, assessment, regulatory frameworks and the implementation thereof. And it is no easy job. An expansion of this gigantic nature, especially in ultra-sensitive areas like ocean and livelihood and the shoreline, the beaches and the climate, and impugning on other, especially neighboring countries with the oceans. It requires a great monitoring and regulatory development, which has to be done by people objectively and rationally, without any blind objection to it, just for the sake of objecting to development, just because there is the ocean, but at the same time keeping in mind that there are no violations of the guiding principles or the prime directives in the matter of sustainable and long-lasting development, which does not harm anyone or anything or the environment. So, in that manner, whatever you all are going to be experts so soon after passing through your academics, and then you will have experience, and there is ample scope in this nation itself to field your talents and go forward. And the nation requires the young blood. The older generation can guide you, but then it requires the spirit and the enthusiasm of the younger generation to go through with this. So that is what I wanted to tell you. Then the key, therefore, then coming back to the scope of it, I will tell you that there are key infrastructure projects on the anvil which will be of interest to all of you. That Vizhinjam Greenfield Port has been done. Then there is the modernization of the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust in Navasheva. Then there is a mammoth project coming up called Vadavan Depot in Maharashtra, again on the west coast, which also considers that there is ample scope for trade development. Then there is the Paradip port expansion. Then there is the Galathea port expansion, which combines strategy and security of the nation with this. Then there is the Varanasi multimodal terminal on national waterways. And there are a lot of other things. And there are regulatory reforms which will interest you also through the Indian Ports Act 2025, Merchant Shipping Act 2025, Coastal Shipping Act 2025, and Carriage of Goods by Sea Act, all of which will benchmark standards, improve the ease of doing business and bring clarity to port governance, vessel registration, maritime employment and environmental compliances. So therefore, all this is a lot of things to do. There is a lot of scope to do. There is a lot of room to gain expertise in this, and the nation needs this. And for this, I must congratulate the Nehru Group of institutions under the leadership of Advocate Dr. Krishnadas, who has set up these centers of excellence in this difficult state of Kerala, where it was difficult to set up these kind of institutions earlier on because of certain perspectives of the political parties and all, which is all now changing. And he is the front runner. I think the Nehru Group is the front runner. As I told you, I am from Vattapal, and when I came here, I was surprised to see the great centers which had been set up. I was surprised at the building, I was surprised at the energy of the people, I was surprised at the expertise, but not surprised with all this because, when Mr. Dr. Krishnadas speaks, he speaks with passion, dedication and commitment and a vision to give effect to all this. So what I am trying to say is that under the present governmental initiatives, under the knowledge expertise of people, under the enthusiasm of people, whether it is in Kerala or whether it is in the whole of the Union of India, there are ample opportunities for expansion, for improvement in maritime. The world's trade moves the maritime, as Dr. Panikkar said. 80% of the world's trade is through maritime, and this can only improve in spite of glitches. There will always be problems. There will be always compliance issues. Things like the Suez Canal incident, what he narrated, things like the present day tariff impact, everything there will be, but ultimately there will be maritime trade is going to be the most important interaction amongst people. Economic development is a matter of economic survival of nations, and all that is going to happen. So therefore, with those words, I think I will wind up and give the podium to the other experts in the field to give a more detailed analysis of layers of whatever is to be done. I wish to thank the Nehru Group. I wish to thank all members of the Nehru Group of institutions and all the professors, everybody. And I wish wish you well. I wish you well, the students, and that is my message to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights.
We are truly honored to welcome a remarkable legal mind whose career embodies dedication to service and excellence in the field of maritime law. Commandant Asha Dahiya from the Directorate of Law at Indian Coast Guard Headquarters, New Delhi. With Commandant Dahiya has served in the Judge Advocate General branches of both the Indian Army and the Indian Coast Guard. With all respects, I invite her to address the gathering.
Honorable dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Soni, Principal of Nehru Academy of Law, esteemed faculty of the college, and young bright mind who represent future international law. A very good morning to all of you. It is truly an honor and privilege to be part of this International Maritime Law Conference. It's actually an honor to speak on a vital issue of Sustainable Development Goal 14, which it's truly an honor to speak on a Sustainable Development Goal 14, that is life below water, implementation and enforcement of international maritime law. We all are hearing about international maritime law. You know why we are so much emphasizing on international maritime law for all of you? Because it is a part of public international law. As a student of law, you have to understand what is public international law. Now here when I talk about Sustainable Development Goal, I'm specifically talking about international maritime law, which has many sources. Article 38 of International Court of Justice, emphasize on sources like convention, treaties, customs, general provision of law which is recognized by the other nations, and so on, juridical findings and juristic reading. All are the sources of public international law as well as international maritime law. Now, in spite of having a robust legal system on maritime law, the anthropologic pressure on the ocean is creating a lot of, I would say, resilience, affecting the resilience power of ocean. This is where the enforcement agency comes into picture, like Indian Navy, Coast Guard and other law enforcement agency. So in my technical session, I'll be more focusing on how, as a law enforcement agency, we comply with the provision of international maritime law, what are the national laws which is required to be complied with, and how we go about it. So I only urge all of you, ask question. There's nothing silly question, dumb question, easy question, hard question. Ask question. Today if you ask question, tomorrow you will be here giving solution and answer to all the questions. Thank you so much and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. It is my distinct honor to introduce our esteemed guest, Commander Kofi Aponsa Dodo of the Ghana Navy, whose career exemplifies service, leadership and strategic vision. With great respect, I invite Commander Kofi Dodo to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. I'm very privileged to be here, and I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me. I've long dreamed of a time to be in India, and this is my first time. I have a lot of friends from India, but I've never had the opportunity. So I'm very grateful to be here. The hospitality has been amazing. This gentleman has taken very good care of us, taken us on tours. The food has been amazing, the people wonderful, and I'm very, very happy. I feel like I'm at home anyway, so thank you very much for that hospitality. I bring you greetings from the Ghana Navy and from the United Nations Division of Law of the Sea and the Nippon Foundation. I'm privileged to be a fellow from the Nippon Foundation under the Nippon Foundation Fellowship Program at the UN. So I'm very excited to be here to share a few words. And let me say that Ghana and India go a long way. We've had a lot of cooperation in the past. And as I see myself as a global citizen, so being here, I feel like an Indian. My friends saw my picture in the traditional attire, and they give me the name Sanjit. So I don't know what that means, Sanjay. So that will be my name going forward. But I'd like to start my brief comment with a story that I encountered during my time at sea. We rescued a naval vessel, and interestingly, the crew of the vessel were from Asia. The owner of the vessel was from Europe. The cargo on board the vessel, some were coming to Africa and some were going to other parts of the world. This shows how complex the maritime environment is and the need for us to collaborate to work on these things together. We are joined by the need to trade. As we've heard already, about 90% of global trade goes by sea. And actually about 99% of all communications go by undersea cables. So the sea is very important to our well-being. Ghana is connected to India and the rest of the world by sea because Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa, which is used for chocolate in the world. And we need to send this out to the world through the sea. If there's a problem in the Malacca Strait or in the Red Sea, we cannot sell our cocoa, which means we cannot get our money. I see a lot of people with gold, and Ghana is among the top 10 producers of gold in the world. So how do we sell our gold if there is insecurity? So the sea is tied to trade, is tied to security, and the need to protect the sea, it's common to all of us. So why would a Ghanaian be on an Indian stage talking about maritime security and talking about blue economy? It's because there is an intrinsic link between the ocean that binds our countries together. So we are forced to collaborate and to cooperate. And to do that, we need laws. That is why we have wonderful lawyers here to guide you as students in the law, so that you can draft treaties, you can interpret treaties, and you can make all those wonderful ideas we see at treaties come to life when it comes to its application. So I will not speak much on this. During the technical session, I'll have the opportunity to talk about maritime security and the blue economy and how it relates to you. So on that session, like my previous speaker said, I'll be happy to answer a lot of questions, and I'll give you a brief taste of what Ghana is about and introduce you to my country. So once again, thank you for your hospitality, and I hope to speak to you another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
As a token of gratitude and appreciation, I request our Chairman and Managing Trustee, Advocate Dr. P. Krishnadas, to present our esteemed Chief Guest, Shri N.M. Panikar, with a memorable gift. I request you to kindly honor our guest of honor, Shri Jitendra Kinetinkara. Sir, kindly do the honors to our esteemed guest, Lieutenant Commander Kobi Ambul Shah Dudu. Our distinguished guest, Commandant Asha Dahia. Thank you, sir.
I now invite Ms. Manjari GB.
I now invite Dr. Gauri R., Director, Accreditation and Ranking, for the felicitation.
Very good morning to one and all. Respected Chairman and Managing Trustee, Honorary Trade Commissioner of Mauritius, India, Chancellor P.K. Das, Deemed to be University, Advocate Dr. P. Krishnadas, Sir, distinguished, most respected Chief Guest of today's second day of International Conference, Guest of Honor, distinguished speakers, Principal of Law College, Nehru Academy of Law, head of the institutions of NGI, various Arts and Science College, Nehru College of Architecture, deans, directors, and my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Conference generally gives a vast exposure, and also it is a platform to share our thoughts, to acquire more knowledge, and also to know about what are the works that are getting carried out in that field across the globe, being an international conference. You are having the eminent speakers across the globe through online as well as offline mode, and you are getting the practical experience from those speakers who are working on that particular field, so that, as rightly told by the speakers who are going to share the sessions, give the invited talks, they have told very clearly that you ask questions, and next time, after some duration of time, you will be the solution provider. I feel, being an engineer, always feel that engineers are always the solution providers. Of course, this is not the forum, because this is the forum where the policy makers are sitting onto it, law framers. But they can frame the things provided the solution is feasible. So, treating that in mind, I always think lot of opportunities are there in all fields. And when we were discussing also, even in the submarine, we have being a communication engineer, I can say that lot of research works are going on in submarine communication. Because you cannot have, rightly told in the welcome address by Professor Subhash, your cable systems cannot withstand in the salt water. So I have to establish the communication. So in order to do that, I need to overcome such problems, I have to do a lot of research. During the chief guest address, there is a lack of experiential learning in our country compared to others. It was well pointed out by our chief guest, and the developments that are happening was very clearly mentioned by our guest of honor. So, make use of the opportunities that are available and follow the internships and acquire more knowledge in these 3 days. And I know that your principal law college has taken a lot of effort in making the conference proceedings. And she has told very clearly that selected papers we will be publishing it in a well-reputed journals. So, these things will happen only when we do the conducive research, and we should have such a research environment in the surroundings. And I am sure that NGI is a right one where we have such environment to pursue the research and to do well with that. So let us make use of this opportunity to acquire more knowledge on the maritime in all various aspects, not only confining to law, in communication or business or blue economy growth so that we all contribute for the nation building exercise. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Ms. Manjari GB, Assistant Professor, Nehru Academy of Law, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a great honor for me to stand before the dignitaries on and off the dais and extend a vote of thanks on this august occasion. First and foremost, I express my heartfelt gratitude to our presiding dignitary of the function, Advocate Dr. P. Krishnadas, Honorary Trade Commissioner, Mauritius, India, Chancellor of P.K. Das deemed to be University and Chairman and Managing Trustee of Nehru Group of Institutions, for delivering the presidential address. Sir, your words of wisdom and guidance are a constant source of strength for us. Thank you, sir. With equal honor, I extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Sri N.M. Panikar, Honorary Trade Commissioner for Brunei, India, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and founder and chairman of various marine companies and educational institutions, for his gracious presence and inspiring address. Thank you, sir. I also express my deep gratitude to our guest of honor, Sri Jitendran Kinetinkara, Executive Head of Corporate Affairs, Adani Vidinyam Port Private Limited, and Special Officer, Adani Organizations Kerala, for his thoughtful and insightful words. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to our Chief Patron, Dr. P. Krishnakumar, Pro-Chancellor of PK Das Deemed University and CEO and Secretary of Nehru Group of Institutions, for his encouragement and unwavering support in his absentia. Thank you, sir. We are truly privileged to have received greetings from our distinguished guest, Dr. Binamol K., Director, School of Legal Studies, Cochin University of Science and Technology, is currently absent but will be joined us for the afternoon session to deliver her valuable address. Commandant Asha Dahia, Law Officer, Directorate of Law, Indian Coast Guard, New Delhi. Thank you, ma'am. Lieutenant Commander Kofi Ambonsha Dudu, Ghana Navy, United Nations Nippon Foundation Fellow 2025 at the International Maritime Law Institute. Thank you, sir. And Commander Anupapman P., Directing Staff, Maritime Welfare Center, Kochi. Your kind words and goodwill have added great value to this inaugural session. Thank you, sir. We are also grateful to Professor Dr. R. Gauri, Director, Research Accreditation and Ranking, Nehru Group of Institution, for her gracious felicitation. Thank you, ma'am. I also take this moment to thank Professor Dr. Subhash G. Prathotam, Professor, Nehru Academy of Law, for his warm welcome and for unfolding the theme of this conference with clarity and depth. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Soni Vijayan, Principal, Nehru Academy of Law, for her unwavering support and constant encouragement. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. P.D. Sebastian for his guidance and support. I also thank our esteemed resource persons who will be leading the session shortly. We are honored by your presence and look forward to your valuable insight. Finally, my heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries on and off the dais, respected faculty members, student coordinators, MOC, technical staff, volunteers and participants. Your presence and cooperation have made this inaugural session a truly memorable one. I once again extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I request you all to please raise for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
The audience are requested to wait back. Please be seated. have a short break and the session will resume. If you want to go to the washrooms and free yourselves, you can do that and quickly come back. Please come back for the session.
വീഡിയോ പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്ന സംശയം